Well, good morning. My name is Kevin Kresge. I am a Methodist pastor and I am the marketing director at Intulse. And I'm here today with Keith Goodling, who is the VP of Sales and Marketing at Intulse. And I've known Keith for many years, but we're here today to talk a little bit together about who Intulse is, what Intulse does, and how Intulse helps and works with the church, our passion for the church, and a few other things. Let us just jump right into it. So, Keith, no better person to ask than you, really. Who is Intulse?
Great question, Kevin. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be part of this meeting today. Intulse is a 7-year-old, privately held, and debt-free, Christian-led telecom company providing voice, video, chat, and SMS services to tens of thousands of users across the U.S.
All right, cool. So, any of those users include churches?
Absolutely. We basically have three primary markets that we have most of our clients inside of: financial services, insurance, and churches. And that's really where our passion is to serve the church.
Awesome, awesome. Okay. Well, I mean, you talk about Intulse's passion. What? How would you define the mission, say, vision and values of Intulse?
Great question. So, our mission is to provide software and services for organizations to help them serve their clients and communities with ever increasing impact. Our vision is to make every organization that we serve to become raving fans of Intulse. And our core values are informed by Scripture. And while currently unstated directly on the website, begin with our desire to serve God and be disciples of Jesus Christ. We value people, stewardship, integrity, and excellence. We also decided early on that we would not be a business that displays a fish on the website, for example, but we would display our faith to our prospects and customers by the way we interacted with them and treated them, especially when they did not treat us in a loving way.
Okay. So, I mean, we talk a lot just now about the church. I mean, of course, I'm a pastor. We've known each other for a while. I know you go to church. What is our role, like, say, Intulse? What's our role with the church? And then, of course, like, how I know how I'm involved in the church. Obviously, I'm a pastor, but like, how are members of the Intulse team involved with churches?
Another great question. So this requires a bit of a story. So the four founders of Intulse, which would include myself, worked together many years ago at a very popular ChMS company that many of you would have heard of. As a matter of fact, if you searched, for example, best ChMS between the years of 2009 and 2015, you would have narrowed your search down and your choice down to about three options: Elexio, Fellowship One, and CCB. We were a part of Elexio until it was sold in 2015. All of that to say, we understand the church and serving the church. And many of our staff serve their local churches in various capacities as elders, deacons, teachers, small group leaders, pastors, and more. So we feel like we're in a unique position to help churches, utilize the voice over IP phone technology in a way that will help them do their job better, because we have the same challenges in the churches that we serve.
So, Keith, I mentioned that we were going to talk about. I wanted to ask about church management software and Intulse's integrations, and being a pastor, I kind of am curious about how working, having been appointed in both large and small churches. I'm kind of curious about how Intulse can help the church with working with different ChMS systems and whatnot. So, how does How does the integration that Intulse offers make communication with faith communities, church communities? How does it make that better or easier?
Since you already have a database with all your members of various communities in it, having a phone system that is integrated provides the ability to quickly know who is calling and see their recent interactions with staff so you can even better serve them. You can quickly search a contact and call them, as well as have those communications and activities automatically logged in the database, providing some critically important additional data points.
Okay. So, what kind of integrations, or I should say, what kind of things are possible between with in terms of those integrations between Intulse and the church management software?
Great question. So currently we integrate with Rock, ChurchStaq by PushPay, formerly called CCB, Planning Center, and Ministry Platform. Each one provides a different level of depth with regard to the data available or captured, but each one provides at least the basics, which would be who's on the phone, auto logging of the call inbound or out, and the convenient search to call feature. Our desktop app provides convenient click to call capability for your browser of choice, even if you don't have a ChMS. Our Rock integration is currently the most feature rich due to the native plugin we built for them. A little known fact regarding the Rock users is that you can replace your current service that you have with Twilio
Hmm.
inside of Rock with Intulse and have some serious savings on SMS fees.
Okay. All right. Now, you mentioned this, but it kind of got me curious. If I don't have, say, if I serve in like a small or a medium church, um, and I don't have like church management software, um, can Intulse still help me with a lot of this functionality in terms of like record keeping, that kind of stuff? Is that something that Intulse can still do?
Absolutely. Since all of the voice and SMS communications are stored in the phone server that Intulse will set up for you, and there are reports that can be run to display any data set you can think of.
Okay.
You can then export that data and merge it with other forms to get that more complete picture of how engaged your community is with the church and how well your team is doing at keeping in touch with the people that need touched.
Awesome. So, Keith, a couple of the churches that I've served in or been part of over the years have dealt with some issues that kind of stemmed from communication or like a lack of kind of maybe protection for the ministry, and with all of the tracking and everything that's available inside of church management systems, like I've used Planning Center at some of my churches. What what are some challenges that you've seen in the church that can cause problems or can say compromise a ministry?
Yeah, the biggest problem by far is church staff utilizing their personal cell phones to do
Mm,
church business. That is wrought with so many problems and potential security issues that it's hard to know where to start. The other big item is the lack of data around voice and often SMS communications that are happening between staff and the church community. Churches are very good, especially if they have a ChMS, at gathering data around attendance, giving, serving, emails, children's check-in, various memberships and classes completed.
hmm
But a critical part of the big picture of how connected and how well the church is doing at keeping communications open is completely missing. And as if that isn't bad enough, all of the communications done with a personal cell phone are unknown by any other staff member.
mm,
And if, when that staff member leaves, all of the communication history goes with them.
true.
Here's a story that I'm very familiar with that will highlight another aspect of the personal cell phone problem. So John Doe and his family visit a local church and begin the assimilation process to explore membership. Tiffany Jones is the welcome coordinator and personally makes the phone calls welcoming new people, answering their questions and talking them through next steps. She uses her personal cell phone to make these calls.
Mm-hmm.
John Doe and his wife Jane Doe are having some marital challenges, and the trust quotient is at a very low point at this time. Jane looks at John's phone and sees several calls and texts from Tiffany Jones, and her imagination runs wild. Mr. and Mrs. Jones eventually resolved their marital differences, but sadly did not end up joining that church community. In fact, they are not part of a local fellowship at the moment at all, simply doing virtual church.
Gotcha. Okay. So, how would, given that situation, which I've seen similar situations in churches I've served, uh, among staff even, how would, say, Intulse help these churches prevent that type of issue or even other issues?
Great question. So, our mobile app that is native to both iPhone and Android makes it super easy, convenient, and secure for church staff to make and receive phone calls on their cell phone,
Mm,
but utilizing the seamless Intulse app. The app shields the personal cell phone number from being exposed,
okay.
displays the church number in the caller ID, and logs the call activity on the Intulse system, can be recorded, and if a ChMS is in play, auto log that call into the activities
Oh,
for
okay.
the member account. The desktop or mobile app allow for church staff to work anywhere as if they were at their desk at the office. It accommodates pastor on call scenarios, facilitates staff and volunteer calling or texting campaigns, just does a ton of things with helping people be mobile and serve in their church.
Okay. Now, are there any other features like that that the church could maybe take advantage of? Like we have a lot of solutions. Having handled online ministry myself, are there any other solutions that would help maybe small groups meet, or that sort of thing that a church might be able to take advantage of that Intulse offers?
Absolutely. So while voice is commonly expected to be delivered by a voice over IP, phone solution,
Hmm.
the texting capability that we have, which includes mass texting, and the video conferencing
Oh,
solution that we also offer, that is integrated in our app, makes it very, very easy for folks to connect remotely if they need to. And yeah, we love to serve churches in that way as well.
awesome, awesome. So, Keith, we talked about who Intulse is, what Intulse does, how we work with churches. But if there were like any closing thoughts or ideas that you would want to say, leave with, executive pastors or other church leaders about Intulse and how we work with churches, what would you say those would be?
Another great question, Kevin. Since Intulse is a Christian based company with a heart to serve the local church and partner with them in ministry, the pricing is typically more attractive than the national brands. Intulse also includes all of the taxes, fees, surcharges, and full support in our pricing. Most, if not all, of the competition don't do that. So
Mm,
churches end up getting billed 20 to 40% more than the original quote
wow.
once they are in contract. And
Okay.
then it's too late for them to do anything about it. We are currently the only VoIP solution that has taken the time to build ChMS integrations and are always looking for ways to serve the church in deeper and more meaningful ways to support them in building the kingdom. We have a saying around here that we love to live and find our work most satisfying where ministry and technology intersect. That's our sweet spot.
Awesome.